Well, fans, as promised, I have something very special for you today on the meat segment. Right here, local, ladies and gentlemen. He's a father, a judge, attorney, a talk show host, a real estate broker, and one heck of a nice guy. And now he's my new buddy. Ladies and gentlemen, I give to you Dan Jacobs. How's it going, Dan? Good morning, my friend.
Yes, thank you for that kind introduction.
Absolutely,
Former
buddy.
barbecue company owner as well.
Oh man, and
Former
the list
owner
goes
of
on, right?
Jake and Joel's Barbecue Company. May she rest in peace.
All right, yeah, awesome. So, how is it on this Friday morning, my friend?
Doing fantastic. Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Absolutely. We're glad to have you here on the E's and B's. And just to fill you in a little bit, Dan, what we're gonna do today is we got a half dozen questions to throw at you. Some of them breakfast related, some of them wrestling related, and some of them maybe about yourself. Are you ready to dive in?
Bring it on.
All right, my friend, let's jump right on into the meat segment here on the E's and B's. All right, Dan, first question, my friend. If you had to tag with one wrestler, who would it be and why?
If I had to tag in a wrestler?
No, you had to tag. Let's say you're wrestling. We're pretending here, all right? We're in pretend land. And you had to tag team with somebody as a tag team partner. Who would it be and why?
Current or former?
Anything, buddy.
Yeah, let me think about that. Boy, The Rock. I got to go with the Miami Hurricane, right?
Right,
champion.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know,
Why not?
I'm a big Miami Hurricanes fan.
Yeah, definitely. That's a good one. I mean, you can't go wrong there. So, all right, good answer on the first one. All right, so we're going to keep the same kind of theme rolling here for the second one, Dan. If you're going to breakfast with a wrestler, who would it be and what would you be ordering?
Man, so I'm one of those guys now, too. I always order a side of whatever meats they have. I love breakfast meats. Okay. So I always get the whatever chicken fried steak they have with the eggs over medium. But then I always, hey, can I get, whatever sausage they have, can I get that on the side? So that's what I'm ordering, with rye. And then, so I grew up, we're both Dolphins fans, but I grew up in South Florida, and it was kind of weird. It was before Vince McMahon had really, wrestling. He was just kind of getting going with the WWF.
Yeah.
So he was making that national, but there was still kind of regional wrestling.
Sure. Yeah.
And so it was kind of the precursor to WCW. There was a lot of regional wrestling there, like Lex Luger and guys like that. It was kind of the precursor to WCW. So you had you had those guys like that would have jobs like, the Rock and Roll Express and Magnum TA and all those guys that were also had jobs in Florida. Like Lex Luger was down there. But they would also sell real estate and stuff. They're out in the community. Yeah. So it was pretty cool.
They had to have a real job. That goes unseen a lot of times too. Most of them were from Minnesota as well, that were all bouncers at a club and stuff, like the Road Warriors and Rick Rude and stuff like that. So, they had to keep a traditional job outside of the professional of wrestling. So yeah, definitely cool.
So I'm trying to think if I would pick one of those guys, or if it would be The Rock, or if it'd be dude, Hulk Hogan would be fascinating.
That's another one you can't go wrong with. Both those guys, I mean, you could sit for days and just, probably listen to their stories. I know I could for sure.
Yeah. So I think I'd probably go with Hulk, man. Those stories, I mean, all the stories he has to have. I mean, you hear about those stories like when, Macho Man Randy Savage came to, I think they were all, Hulk and his wife were vacationing with Macho Man's wife or something, but she had another man there, and Randy shows up, and
that ended up being Lex Luger in the future. That's
was it?
Yes,
okay.
That's who she ended up. She actually ended up getting married to him, and he was there when she died. Unfortunately, it's a long story. Another time for that, but yeah,
right.
Definitely.
So all the stories he has, man, I think I'd have to pick him.
I think I would agree with you. Absolutely. Like I said, you can't go wrong. And it'd be more than breakfast. It'd be breakfast, lunch, and dinner for sure. All right. We'll keep things rolling, Dan. This one's going to change the direction on you just a hair. All right. I'm going into the movies to see the story of Dan Jacobs, what would be the name of that movie and why?
Tall, dark, and handsome for obvious reasons.
Yes.
No, I'm just teasing.
Love your humor. Love it.
It was probably, you know what, somebody was giving me a hard time. The name of the movie would probably be The Headleys. If you remember when we were kids, I might be a little bit older than you, but really there was a skit on the show was called In Living Color.
Oh yes, I'm a huge
and it was
fan.
about there was this Jamaican family that, you know, they had all these jobs.
Yes,
all the time,
yes, I remember now. Yes.
Yeah, that's what the guy that was doing my deck was saying. He's like, man, you're like those guys in that skit. So that maybe that it would be like a feature-length film on based on that somehow. So maybe that would be the, you know.
Definitely a great answer, Dan. I didn't expect it. Taking us back a little bit. I do believe we're really close. Maybe not, if not the same age, actually. So, all right, keeping things going. That was the third one. We're gonna hit you with the fourth egg here, and then we're gonna we're getting back into the wrestling a little bit, Dan. And this one, you can kind of share it in both lights since you do touch on sports as well, because I know you probably got some great sports stories you could share as well as wrestling. But what is your favorite memory of wrestling? Lifetime, first thing you think of, and the best thing you think of when you think of wrestling?
I would say when I was a kid, I think it was on Thanksgiving, actually. You know, my dad was kind of not around all the time. I was raised by my grandparents, but my dad took me to, there was an event. This will take you back. It was kind of WCW slash, I don't know if you guys remember this. So WCW and NWA were kind of the same thing. They would do separate events, but they were the same thing.
Yes.
And their WrestleMania, so to speak, was an event called Starrcade.
Okay. Yeah.
And they did closed circuit events. Like we bought tickets to go to a movie theater, and we went, and my dad took me, and we went to a movie theater, and it was the most exciting thing ever, man. So, you know,
I think I think they should have kept that going. That's so cool, because you think about that, like seeing it on the bigger screen, you know, obviously you're going to probably get more people because the pay-per-view rate now is so high. You know, you knock it down, put it in a bigger, you know, arena, like you're saying, like they did back then.
They didn't have pay-per-view back then. This was before.
Well, yeah, it's closed circuit, like you said, but like think about it now as pay-per-view, that'd be a game changer in my opinion. But man, yeah, I Starrcade, we could go on days for that too. I'm a huge WCW fan as well. I used to be trapped at home on TBS, you know, 605. I was there, you know, and I did like WWF, you know, of course, but WCW was more of my jam. I was more of a Flair, Sting, Four Horsemen, all that good stuff guy, and I would bounce back and forth, but I kept more of a thumb on the WCW when I was younger.
Yeah, it was just, oh, there's something about it, you know. It was,
to me, it was more
cool.
real. I believed it more for some reason. The promos were better. The bloodshed was different. Obviously, that changed throughout time because of rules from TBS and so on. But yeah, it just, to me, it was more real. I don't know why.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. And yeah, my memories are, you know, it was fun, but yeah, WWF was more, it was kind of a Saturday morning thing, but it was more kind of cartoonish, you know.
Absolutely. Yeah. You know, that's a good point, because, you know, they had more unbelievable gimmicks on WWF than they did on WCW. And now that changed a few times in the future, but yeah. All right, Dan, we'll keep things rolling here. We're going to knock out these last two and get you out of here, because I know you're a busy man, but these last two are going to be some good ones. We're going to change the pace. We're obviously this month, all month long, we've been talking about being thankful and giving. And the whole main reason why I have brought you on is because you're one of the most thankful and giving people, that I've met here in the recent time that I've moved back. And I want to know your favorite Thanksgiving tradition / memory.
Well, I would say, I mean, I always just kind of love the traditions of it and getting to eat food and watching football. But I would say a few years ago, so I went to law school about 2009. And so we kind of did that thing where we would come back for Thanksgiving. Sure. And for a couple years, it was a disaster, because you know how it goes. Like everybody's like staying on top of each other in the house, and there was like a brawl with my brother-in-law in the street. And finally, the next year I'm like, dude, I'm not even going.
Right. Just got to be
We're
where
not
it
going.
wasn't fun. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, it's not even fun anymore. So we just went over to, we were in a real small church in Olathe, Kansas, because I went to law school at Washburn in Kansas.
Okay.
And we just went over there, just had a great meal with a bunch of people, from, the community out there, and watched the Lions get stomped as they always do, which is great food.
Amen. Yeah.
Great
yeah,
company.
we know that.
That was actually, speaking of stomping, that was actually the game. Remember, and Ndamukong Suh stomped on
on Rogers' neck.
Yeah. But it was just a great time.
Who would know that we'd have him just a little bit, not too much longer after
I know,
that,
I
right?
hated that, man. I hated that.
I still kind of laugh when now, like,
yeah. People bring it up. I'm like, no, I hated when we signed it. But yeah, I think that was just my favorite one. It was just such a great time, and it was like the first time in forever we hadn't, been stressed out. It was a family holiday, and it was so low key. We brought, the one dish that we had to bring, and that was it. And we just enjoyed it, and it was a good time.
That's awesome. That's definitely the best part. The most favorite part for me, obviously, is being with the family or just spending that time, like you said. All right, Dan, well, we're going to get you to the last question, and then we'll turn the mic over to you before I get you out of here, obviously, if there's anything else you need to get to the listeners out there. But my last question is the best question. I normally ask almost everybody I have on, and everybody's answer is different. There is no wrong answer, but come from the heart. And I know you're a Dolphins fan. You will do it for me. You're a wrestler. What's your gimmick and your name?
My gimmick and my name. My name is Dr. Right because I'm wrong so infrequently, and and my gimmick, I guess, I probably harken back to the days. Remember, like Bobby Heenan and those old school promoters that just blah 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 blah,
oh, yeah.
and barking at the crowd and things
Jim
like
Cornette.
that. That's probably me.
Okay, so we'll throw you in the manager category with Bobby Heenan and Jim Cornette as Dr. Right, even though he's always wrong. How's that sound?
There we go. Never wrong.
Never wrong.
Dr. Right, because
Dr. Right, because he's never wrong. My fault. Yes, yeah. Well, Dan, man, it's been an honor and a pleasure to have you on the E's and B's show in the meat segment this week. I want to spread the word, though, before I let you go. Like I said, the whole reason why I had you on, because it's something that caught my eye on your Twitter page, and it's been going on for a little while now. You do a very, very amazing, thankful, giving thing. Can you tell my fans and listeners out there what you got going on?
Yeah, and I appreciate you having me on to talk about it a little bit. So when COVID hit, actually before it hit, or when it was kind of bubbling up in February, so I go to Eastern Hills Community Church. It's on Smoky Hill in Arapahoe. And I reached out to our missions pastor, and I said, hey, if things close down at the schools and we need to do meals, I love to cook. So I did, the quick story was when I went to law school in Kansas, I learned how to barbecue. And when I came back, there wasn't a lot of great barbecue here. So for a couple of years, I did have a barbecue company. And I don't have that barbecue company anymore, but I still love to barbecue. So I said, hey, if we need to do some meals or something, I'd love to help. And as it turned out, the schools don't need meals because they were providing meals. But what they had previously was a program, a marketplace program, where once a month they were providing groceries for families. And they decided they were going to do that once a week, and they wanted to provide hot meals. And so they said, Dan, will you basically run the kitchen for the hot meals? And I said, I would love to do that. And so we were doing that for basically March through August. We did once a week, we were doing hot meals, and it's a great program. It's you just drive up and we say, pop the trunk, we throw the groceries in, you get groceries for a week. We say, how many meals do you want? And you say 8, and we give you 8 hot meals. Sometimes we could do brisket or pulled pork or things like that. Yesterday was awesome. We did a Thanksgiving meal. So we had smoked turkey and mashed potatoes and stuffing and cranberry stuff. So it was awesome. So now we do first and third Thursdays. We since August. We don't do it every week. We do it the first and third Thursdays. So anybody that needs it, there's no income requirements. You don't have to go to the church. Anybody that needs it, it's 4 to 6 p.m. Eastern Hills on Smoky Hill, 4 to 6. Just show up, get in line, and you don't even have to get out of your car. We just run them out, and we'll get you some hot meals. And I try and do barbecue as much as I can. It just, we're partnered with the Food Bank of the Rockies, so it depends on kind of what we get.
Sure.
But it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's definitely awesome, and I like I said, it caught my eye, and I think it's an amazing thing that you're doing. We need more Dan Jacobs in the world, that's for sure.
That's my wife.
Right. I think you could do the same for me. But
Right.
Like I said, Dan, man, is there anything else, actually, before I let you go, is there anything else you want to push? You can follow Dan on Twitter at Dan T. Jacobs Law, right? Is that correct?
Absolutely.
All right.
And then the Dan Jacobs Show on weekends, Saturday mornings. We get pushed around a little bit this time of year based on college football. Yeah.
I was digging it. Sunday mornings was my jam. I could dig.
Yeah.
I could listen to you in the morning. If I was going places, and and
Yeah.
then football come in, and of course,
I know,
us
man.
Dolphin fans, they push us to the side, right?
I know we get smacked around a little bit,
But we're gonna get them back.
That's right. We'll be back and going. But yeah, just you can catch me on the Fan. I'll be on Black Friday, noon to 3 on the Fan. You can catch my show then if you want to listen then, and I think the following Saturday thereafter as well.
Awesome, Dan. Awesome. Yeah, that's 104.3, guys. That's Dan Jacobs on the meat segment for the E's and B's podcast. Dan, honor and pleasure once again, buddy. I can't wait to have you back. Can't wait to catch up with you once all this stuff is calmed down and it's safe to hang out and talk.
Dr. Wright.
Dr. Wright. He's never wrong, folks. That's Dan Jacobs. Thanks again, buddy.
All right, man.